Imagine this: you reach into your pocket, fish out a worn US quarter, toss it on the table, and suddenly you're holding something way more than 25 cents. What if that ordinary quarter is actually hiding a secret worth hundreds, thousands, maybe even millions of dollars? That's the kind of twist that keeps coin collectors up at night, and the 1979 D quarter is one of those coins where the magic can suddenly appear, if you catch the right variety, the perfect error, or an almost impossible grade. Stick around, because by the end of this video you might rethink every piece of change you've ever overlooked. There are gems in plain sight, and some 1979 D quarters have sold for eye-watering sums. In 1979, the U.S. Mint struck hundreds of millions of Washington quarters. The D Mint mark coins, those produced in Denver, numbered nearly 489,789,780. Coin value checker. +2. The most expensive. +2. Because so many were made, most 1979 D quarters are common, worth little above face value. Especially if worn. But, there's a catch. The value skyrockets when you hit certain rare varieties, mint errors, or coins in exceptional mint state condition. And while none of the varieties are unheard of, some are extraordinarily rare, and pricey. What follows are the key types, errors, and the biggest known values, plus how those prices are driven so high that what seems like a 25-cent coin sometimes becomes a treasure. What makes some 1979 D quarters rare or valuable? There are several factors that can make a 1979 D quarter jump in value. Mint state and grading, the condition of the coin, how sharp the strikes are, whether there's wear or damage. Coins graded MS66, MS67, or higher are rare in Denver minted coins from 1979. The most expensive. +2. Coin value checker. +2. Errors or varieties, like a filled D mint mark, where the inside of the D is partially or fully filled, double or triple punches of the mint mark, off-center strikes, broad strikes, missing layers, etc. These anomalies are often limited in number and highly collectible. The most expensive. +3. Coin value checker. +3. Antiques know-how. +3. Proof strikes versus business strikes, proof versions, even if not a 1979 D proof, but comparison with other varieties, and deep cameo proofs tend to fetch higher premiums. While the 1979 D is primarily a business strike, meant for circulation, comparisons with proof varieties show how much condition and finish can affect value. Rarest.org. +2. The most expensive. +2. Rarity of the exact error/variety, how many of that error are known, how dramatic/visible the error is, how many have survived in high grade. The fewer, the more collectors will pay. Types and specific high-value varieties/errors in the 1979 D quarters. Here are the error types and varieties that bring the potential for big value, along with actual sales, or realistic estimates, to show how high the ladder goes. Filled D mint mark error. The D mint mark appears filled in, or partially filled, usually due to die defects. Some collectors demand extra for these. Prices for such errors have been listed around $150 to $180 for moderately good specimens. Coin value checker. +2. Rarest.org. +2. Triple or multiple punch mint mark, or double filling, etc., variations where the D is punched twice or 3 times, or shows overlapping letters, can fetch even more, depending on visibility and grade. Some are valued around $175. Rarest.org. +2. Coin value checker. +2. Off-center strike/clipped planchet, a coin that was struck off-center or that has part of its edge clipped during planchet preparation. These are visually striking and scarce. Less dramatic examples might sell for tens or a few $100s, more extreme ones can be much more. Antiques know-how. +2. 33rd square. +2. Broad strike / double rim / misfitted collar. These are errors where the collar that normally restrains the coin's edge during striking was missing or misaligned, causing the coin to spread out or have a weird rim / broad area. Depending on severity and grade, some are valued in the hundreds of dollars. Rarest.org. +2. Antiques Know-How. +2. Extremely high-grade MS67 coins. Perhaps the single biggest value jump comes from MS67 or higher coins from 1979D. One such 1979D in MS67 condition sold in 2014 for $1,078. Ned Ludd coins. +1. Hypothetical very high-grade or extreme error versions. There's speculation and evidence that if one could find a 1979D in MS68, which are almost non-existent, or one with a dramatic error, 50% off-center for example, or some other very rare die variety, it could command prices much higher. Possibly several $1,000s. Some sources suggest that ultra-high grade or unique error pieces of 1979 quarters are worth big money or worth thousands, but verified sales in that range are rare. 33rd Square. +2. Ned Ludd coins. +2. History and why these errors occurred. To understand why these rare types exist, a little history helps. The Washington quarter design had been in use since 1932, and by 1979 the mint had refined much of its process. Still, mass production with very high daily outputs always risks occasional defects, die chips, misalignment, debris in the minting process, worn dies, etc. In the late 1970s, there was also greater demand, and coins circulated heavily, so finding ones that survived in perfect or near-perfect condition is very unusual. The mint mark D, for Denver, was struck with dies that sometimes failed, or had defects that produced mint mark irregularities, filled letters, double-struck mint marks, etc. These defects usually get worn off or hidden if the coin circulates, so pristine examples are rare. Proof coins, from San Francisco, with mint mark S, were struck separately, with much more care. Comparison helps collectors appreciate the value difference of condition and finish. Value ranges, from common to jaw-dropping. Here are rough value ranges for 1979D quarters, from lowest common cases to the most extreme. Condition/type approximate value. Circulated, ordinary wear, G4, F12, etc., $0.25 $1, face value plus small collector premium. U.S. Coins Guide. +1. Uncirculated but low grade, MS60 to MS63, $5 $20 depending on eye appeal and sharpness. Errorcoins.org. +2. The most expensive. +2. Mid-high uncirculated grade, MS65, MS66, $100 $300 or more, particularly if there's an error or variety visible. 33rd Square. +4. Coin Value Checker. +4. Ned Ludd coins. +4. Rare error varieties, e.g. well-defined filled D, double mint mark punch, off-center, or broad strike, in good condition $150 $800 plus depending on how dramatic the error is and the coin's grade. Rarest.org. +3. Coin Value Checker. +3. The most expensive. +3. Exceptional graded coins, MS67, $1, $000 $1, 500 plus, one example sold for $1,078. Ned Ludd coins. +2. Coin Value Checker. +2. Potential extreme examples *** possibly several $1,000s or more, if someone ever uncovers one that's MS68 or has a dramatic, unique error. There's often talk of coins worth thousands, but actual sales records are much more modest. No verified case of a 1979D quarter in the tens or hundreds of thousands has been widely accepted yet. So, could one be worth hundreds of thousands or millions? This is where bold claims sometimes get made, but usually, they're more wishful thinking than documented reality. Coins sometimes get rumored to be worth millions, especially online, but evidence for a 1979 D quarter reaching that level is lacking. To reach million-dollar territory, a coin would generally need to be one of a kind, or extremely few known. In near-perfect condition, MS67 or MS68, maybe MS69. With a very dramatic, eye-catching error, like a huge off-center, double die, or being struck on the wrong planchet, etc. Certified by a reputable grading service, PCGS, NGC, etc. Sold in auction with verified provenance. So far, among known 1979 D quarters, those kinds of extreme combinations haven't turned up in publicly known sales, or at least not in a way that's verified and well documented. Usually, the highest verified values are in the low thousands for very special coins. Some non-Denver error quarters or proof quarters of a different type sometimes push higher, but for 1979 D business strike regular coins, getting into the tens of thousands would already be extraordinary. Real-life example. One of the most famous sales, a 1979 D Washington quarter in MS67 condition sold for about $1,078 in 2014. That shows what collectors will pay when the coin is nearly perfect. Ned Ludd coins. +2. Coin value checker. +2. Also, there are listings of filled D or double mint mark 1979 D error coins selling for $150, $180 and up, depending on the visibility of the error and the coin's overall condition. Coin value checker. +1. What to look for if you want to spot a bullseye coin. If you're in the hunt for one of these rarities, here are what your eyes, and maybe a magnifying glass, should scan for. Sharp, crisp mint mark D with no wear or smudging. Signs of mint mark anomalies, filled D, overlapping letters, double punch. Strong luster, sharp details around Washington's hair, the ribbon, the eagle's feathers on the reverse. No heavy scratches, discoloration, corrosion. Any error, off-center strike, how far off, clipped edge, weak collar, broad strike features. Certification. Coins authenticated and graded by trusted services, PCGS, NGC, carry much more weight and trust. Conclusion. So yes, though most 1979 D quarters are just what you expect from a 1979 quarter, there are some rare and valuable versions out there. The most realistic, big score, from a 1979 D quarter right now is in the range of a few $1,000s for a top-grade specimen with a dramatic error. Claims of millions are exceedingly unlikely unless something totally unexpected shows up, e.g. an MS68 with a major, unique error. If you've got one of these in your coin collection, examine it, maybe get it graded, it could be more than just pocket change. And if you're out hunting through old change, don't skip over those 1979s, they might be hiding a surprise. If you want, I can pull together your video script version of this, an intro, middle, and closing that'll grab attention and guide viewers through all this value stuff clearly. Do you want me to write that up?